George, this is quite a serious story. Do you want a serious story?
Drop it.
Or do you want something a bit less serious?
No, just drop it. I don't care.
George
story,
just wants me to
serious,
drop it.
serious,
Right,
not serious.
I'm going to go deep, George. I'm going to go deep with this one.
This is it, people. This is the one you've been waiting for.
Yeah, well,
this is the shocker.
I know, George. Dear George and Luke.
Hello, dear.
My boyfriend was violent.
Oh, no.
And hit me after an argument.
Oh, no.
1 minute I was talking to him. The next, he'd punched me in the face.
Oh, my God.
And I couldn't get up off the floor.
Oh, man.
I admit.
Really hit hard. Well, so, I mean...
Is it too hard?
No, it's fine. I'm saying
admit.
he must hit her. I mean, maybe he didn't hit her that hard, but the shock of it could leave her like, don't move. Because, yeah, but the thing is for a woman is she got fight or flight, but then what is often not discussed is you have fight or flight, which is fight back or run away.
Sure.
But then there's also, which is very common, is paralysis.
Frozen.
It's like, I don't know what to do. And in her head, if he hit her in the face, she's like, well, if I get up, he might hit me harder. Okay, and if I run, he might grab me and hit me harder. So maybe he didn't hit her hard enough to knock her flat, but the best thing she could do in that instance is stay down so it doesn't get worse. Sure. So we don't know. I mean, for all we know, I mean, it was bad
one way or another,
what he did.
It was bad what he did.
But she wasn't knocked out, right?
Sure.
Now, a fully grown man could probably knock out a woman in one punch if he wanted to, but she wasn't knocked out. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to work out how serious this thing is, but
I mean,
okay,
it's serious.
Yeah, all right. A bad thing happened for sure.
I admit I can be hard to live with, and we do argue now and then, but nothing like this has ever happened before. I am not sure what happened, but I have to take some of the blame.
No, look, all right. First of all, this is what women always do. Okay, women always go, "What did I do to bring it out in him?" And they always blame themselves. This is one of the reasons nice guys fucking hate women, right? Nice guys love women, but they hate the fact that women will go out with a guy who beats her up, and they're like, "I would never do that to you. What the fucking hell is wrong with you? Why aren't you going out with me?" Meanwhile, she's going, "What's wrong with me? What did I do to make him hit me? Oh my God, it's all me." Well, in reality, right, any man who hits a woman, he's basically not in control of himself. He's like, "I don't know what to do. She's driving me so crazy. What do I say?" Now, the thing is if he got certain advice, you know, because I've helped a lot of guys, where I could be like, "Okay, why does she drive you crazy? Okay, say this to her." And he'd be like, "Oh my God, why didn't I think of that? Oh, if only I'd known that before, I could have calmed down," right? The point being is it's not your fault. You're just a woman acting like a woman, right? Don't start beating yourself up about it, you know, beating yourself up about the fact that he's beating you up, because it's really not your fault, right? You're doing what women do. Maybe you're driving up the wall, maybe you're a bit cranky, whatever, but there are other ways that he can deal with it. And the thing is it's masculine behavior. Think of like Marlon Brando type stuff. It's masculine behavior to be almost like the large oak tree. The man who is like I can weather the storm, you know? I'm the oak tree, here's the lightning, here's the rain, and the oak tree remains standing strong. And sometimes that's what like arguments with women is like. Come on then, bring it on, let it out, come on, shout at me, vent at me. But the man should be able to sit there and either take it and be like, whatever, or sort of respond to it appropriately and occasionally be like, "No, you're wrong. You're chatting shit, blah, 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 this is why you're wrong," and do it like that. But never should he need to raise his fists. And I'll tell you a number of reasons why. One, because it's just fucking wrong. But two, because it's like you don't bring a machine gun to a boxing match, right? Sure. You don't do it. It's just not fair. And for a man to raise his fists against a woman is like, that's not a fight that she can have. That's not a fair fight in any capacity. So it's it's cowardly. It's just not how it works. Fight someone at their level, right? A grown man fighting an 8-year-old boy is not cool. A grown man fighting a grown man, or if they want to fight, I'd say it's inappropriate, but it's fair enough, even ground to a degree. But a man fighting a woman is like, no. But an argument is like an even playing field, kind of, even though women are much better at it than we are. But like, it's just bad. And number one, do not start saying, "What did I do to make him. It must be my fault. It's definitely my fault. It's not him. It's all me. That's all bad. That's all wrong. Get that out of your head. It's not your fault.
My boyfriend apologized before we went to bed. Excuse me. I'm 26.
For the record, that's always what happens. That's always what happens. If you read a book by Iceberg Slim called Pimp, what Pimp did is basically you beat the woman to make her into a prostitute, right? So you do all the lovey sup first, you're having sex, you get her to be one of your women, then you beat her, right? And what he'd do is he would get a coat hanger, a wire coat hanger, unravel it, whip the woman with the coat hanger, so she's literally like bleeding in intense pain. And then when she's going, oh my God, what did I do to bring this out in him? It must be me. I'm the bad one, not him. Then he runs her a bath and he gets a nice sponge and he starts sponging the wounds and he starts telling her, you know, I wish I didn't have to do that to you. And then she's like, oh, he does love me. He does love me. It is my fault. There is a sweet side to him. And he wrote it saying he regretted that lifestyle. But he's like, this is stuff that he did like, because he knew it worked. He knew it worked as a manipulative tactic to keep them basically like
docile and in check.
And locked in, yeah. But the thing is you don't have to do that to make like a relationship work. That's completely unnecessary. There are other
wrong.
Yeah, wrong. But in terms of some men are like, that's what I need to do to keep her in check. No, you don't. You could literally you'd be better off just flirting with like a woman at the bus stop in front of your girlfriend. Might be a bit like, oh my God, I hurt her feelings. But she'd be like, oh my God, that girl likes him. Oh my God, I better be like not so bitchy because otherwise he'll go off with another girl. And that's better. Like that's a little bit of a salt in the wound kind of a thing. She's like, I don't want to see him flirting with another girl. But it's better than raising your fist. It's better than getting a fucking like coat hanger and hitting somebody. It's enough to make her think, oh my God, you know, and they do it to us. Women will be like, oh yeah, that man's quite attractive. And it makes us think, oh shit, I better raise my game. I better not be a pain in the arse. So do it to her as well. Yeah, she's very attractive, isn't she? Just do it while you're watching TV. Ooh, she's got nice eyes, sexy. But no fists, no hands. Well, you know, not necessarily in a gentle, caressing way, showing love through your fingertips.
I am 26 and he is 28. We've been together for 2 years. I haven't been able to mention this to anyone. I think my boyfriend would be upset with me if I told any of our friends what had happened. I don't want anyone thinking badly of him.
Okay, so that's the end of it, right?
That's the end of it, George.
So there are a couple of things that you have to be careful of. Number one, if he hit you once, he's probably going to hit you again.
Yeah.
And if he hits you again, it's probably going to go on for the rest of your life and the rest of your relationship. And it's something that he has to deal with. Now, the longer you stay in this relationship, the more attached to you he's going to get. Meaning, if you try to leave, let's say you leave today and his anger is up to here, which is dangerous-ish. But then if you leave in 6 months, he's more attached to you, so his anger will be up here, which is more dangerous. And it's like the violence gets worse and worse and worse according to the attachment. So the sooner you get out, the better it is for both of you. Now, I'm not telling you to get out to actually get out forever, but I'm telling you to get out to let him know that women in general won't put up with that behavior. You want to get out as soon as possible so that he understands, if I do this, I don't have a relationship. The relationships are finished. So I got to find a different way. Now, some men cannot control that. Either it's because they don't understand how to navigate the playing field that is women, right? Very difficult, and they can't control their feelings. But there can be other circumstances where a common example, which you might not recognize in your boyfriend, is behavioral, borderline personality disorder. Right. is quite common. Okay, BPD. Look it up, borderline personality disorder. Look up all the symptoms and see if they match your boyfriend. He might be, for example, very, very smart, okay, highly intelligent, says all the right things, but then snaps and can't seem to control his emotions. If that's the case, it's a problem that he has to deal with. You can get therapy for, well, depending on the country you're in, you can get free assistance for something like borderline personality, because it's a battle he's fighting too. Now, I'm not saying he has borderline personality, but the thing is if he can't control his actions, it is a battle he's fighting with himself, and he's losing. Because I guarantee you, he's not thinking, I can't wait to get home and beat my girlfriend up, right? That's not something he's going to be particularly happy about. Chances are he's going to hit you, and then he's going to feel terrible. He's going to think, what's wrong with me? Oh my God. Unless he's an intentional manipulator like Iceberg Slim was. But even Iceberg Slim was like, I was living in hell carrying that out. So it's not really a positive for him anyway. But you have to, if you take a step back and you go, I want to be with you, but I need to know that you're not going to do that again, then you're doing the best thing for both of you, and you're doing the best thing for any other woman he might end up with. So it's difficult, but I would say, in all seriousness, disconnect yourself from him, get to a place where he literally doesn't know where you are, and say to him, I love you. I intensely love you. I want to be with you, okay? But I need to know that you're getting your emotional state under control. I need to know that you've gone to anger therapy or some kind of therapy, and I need proof of it. And it sounds crazy, but the thing is there are many, many cases such as this, and I know quite a lot about them, right? And if you go back to him in like 2 weeks, oh, he's seeing an anger therapist, I'll go back to you then, like that. Well, he'll drop the anger therapist, and you'll be back on the kitchen floor in a week, right? Or less. You need to be like, I need to see proof that you're seeing a therapist, and I need you to send me proof every single week.
Sure.
And maybe in 3 months, when I know you've got the shit under control, I will come back. Okay. Now, in terms of your relationship, you might be like, oh, but then, he's not leading, he's not he's not as attractive. But the fact of the matter is he's much more in control of himself if he goes through that. And for a long-term relationship, you want to date a man who's in control of himself. Okay, most women want a man who can take control, who can take charge, who can lead you and him to victory, right? That's what you want. And you can't do that with a guy who can't control his own emotions. I mean, it's a cliche, but we say women are the emotional ones. Men are the ones who are supposed to be logical and in control and not ruled by their emotions. So if you end up with someone like that anyway, the chances of it working are like slim to none. Because you'll eventually go, he's emotional like a woman, except he lashes out like a man. So eventually you might get ensnared and, oh my God, I'm crazy, I'm in love with him. But then in like a year, you'll want to break up with him. But if you break up with him in a year, his anger can be so intense that it's genuinely dangerous for you and anyone else. And he hasn't realized yet that, he'll be like, oh, well, she loves me anyway. Oh, I hit her, but she still came back. So I can hit her again and she'll still come back. And I can hit her harder and she'll still come back, right? Because those things get hardwired into the brain, right? Then it's neurological. It's a learning pattern of I do this and this happens. Oh, I hit her and then she comes back and we fall in love all over again. So when I hit her, sometimes it even gets more exciting because when we make up again, it's beautiful. You don't want to teach him that. That's going to become a permanent thing and it's only going to get more and more and more intense. So you have to cut it off quick. And the best thing you can do is tell him you love him. You can speak to him on the phone every day if you want, right? Just say, when I know you're in therapy and I have proof and I know that you're getting that anger under control, I'm not telling your friends, I'm not ruining your reputation, I'm not fucking leaving a Twitter post to ruin your life and your reputation. I'm not doing that. I'm doing this for you, for me, because I want to love you, and I do. So you show me proof every week that you're in therapy, right? And after like 3 months of me knowing you've been in it, I'll come and see you, maybe even more. And should it ever happen again, you do it again, right? Because it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. and you're going to start getting more and more and more used to it. I've spoken to a lot of women in this situation, and all the women I know who've even like, it's quite sad, but
Yeah. Well,
there was a woman who unfortunately she passed away recently, but she was an old woman. She was lovely. She was in her 80s, but she told me all about how she was with a man like that, and they had children, and in the end she literally had to escape. She climbed down the drain pipe because it got so bad that he wouldn't even let her out of her own house, and she had children as well, and she got the children and she had to escape, and she went to live in the countryside to get away from him, and she was very, very scared of all that stuff, and she was scared of him, and all of a sudden she didn't have a relationship with him, the children couldn't have a relationship with their dad, and he lost everything. So it's not in his best interest either for you to just put up with it. Those things, there's a good saying which is like, you solve a problem by going to the roots. You cut the roots before it grows into a bad tree. You're currently at the root stage. You're 26, 28, okay? If you don't cut those roots now, that tree will just grow bad and disfigured and dangerous, okay? You could potentially be happy together, certainly for a while, if you go, this is a problem that has to be stopped immediately. So don't let it happen again. And the other thing is, I would say, is cliche as it is, I make fun of some of the sort of MGTOW guys and stuff. Tell him to get anger therapy, but also tell him to watch them. Tell him to watch like MGTOW guys on YouTube, because even though some of them are negative and shit, and I don't agree with loads of them, they'll at least give certain advice that your boyfriend can use in the relationship, which will calm him down.
can you just explain for the benefit of viewers what MGTOW is? Some of them might not know.
Men going their own way.
Okay.
I can't really recommend. What I'll say is, there's a guy who's even though I met him and he was a little bit cold and whatever, because I think I don't know, I was a bit surprised actually. But there's a guy called Todd Valentine, right? And he's one of the only people giving advice on women where I actually it's good. Like I don't. Every once in a while I think, but he's someone where if you say to your boyfriend, watch this guy, he'll give a lot of advice on women for free. There's loads of it on YouTube, and it's pretty accurate. So like send that to your boyfriend and be like, watch this, because basically your boyfriend will be getting advice that is like, oh, I don't need to raise my fists, I can do this instead, okay? Because your boyfriend is like, doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do to solve a problem. His head's going, oh my God, how do I solve this problem? And then he's lashing out. But if he knows how to solve, so, oh, I know what to do to make her happy. I know what to do to make her, want to spend time with me, blah, blah, blah. I know what to do in an argument. I know that kind of stuff. And obviously you can get it from me as well. You can read my book, A Cure for Loneliness. You can watch these videos, all that sort of stuff. I've helped many a man who struggles with women, but anyway, you get the point. So just be careful, but solve the problem now. Don't wait for it to grow any worse. Okay.
I think it's just. I was just gonna say. I think it's really difficult. It's such a pattern of behavior when you love someone and you want to see the good in them and you want to forgive them and you want to let it go, but at the same time, being violent in the way he has towards you is so wrong on so many levels that you have to step out of the relationship, even if it is not permanently. If he gets the help, if he gets the anger management, if he shows and proves that he's not going to do it again. But if you just stay in there with him for now, chances are it's going to happen again sooner or later. So please, for your sake, don't put yourself in that position. Imagine you were to have kids with this man, and you were to carry on like this, and this was to carry on, and the kids were to see this violence on a more escalated scale. This would be terrible, not only for you, but for them too. So don't let it get to that point. Nip it in the bud now and try to solve it before it gets any worse. That's what I wanted to share. All right. Problem, hopefully, strongly sufficiently
becoming
solved.
Bye. Bye. Love you ever so much. Especially you.
Hey, you there, I've got some really exciting special news. If you're interested in all the kind of things that we talked about in that video just there, you're gonna love this. There it is, look at that. It's written by me. It's called A Cure for Loneliness, as you can see right there. And I spent about a year of my life writing it to make sure that it would be good and fun and accurate and entertaining and all those things that make something, you know, worthwhile. And I'm extremely excited to say that people have actually responded really well and they've been reading it all over the world. I've gotten reviews from people who say that they've read it twice. Somebody actually wrote to me recently to say that he'd read it 3 times. I was flattered if anyone had read it once, but to read it 3 times. Some excerpts of things that people have written to me about it are, it's a great and fun read, not the tedious intellectual kind. For me personally, this was a reminder that reading can be an awesome pastime. A lot of books are boring as fuck, but not this one. Thanks very much. And anyway, those are only the first responses that I got. Quite recently, somebody wrote to me from China and said that he's now in a relationship with a girl he met on a train, all he says, because he read this book, and he said that it inspired him to go over to a girl that he liked on a train, yes, a public train, and start speaking to her. And now he says they are in a relationship and it is going well. So, if that kind of thing interests you, or maybe you're just interested in the kind of psychology that, you know, we talk about on these videos, you're going to get a lot of it in depth, including my own experiences and how I kind of came to learn all of this stuff and reach this place myself. You're going to get all those stories within this. It's fantastic. Trust me, it's the best book you're ever going to read in your entire life. I wouldn't put a year of my life into writing something worthless, would I? So, you know, jump in, have fun. You can find it on amazon.com.co.uk, any Amazon, even the Amazon jungle. It's only about $10, I think it's $8.99, something like that, with free shipping. So crack on, have some fun, and, you know, let me know what you think. Till next time, bye.